Reverend Dr. Francis Thamburaj SJ presents the Top Secrets of Living Deeply audio album. You are listening Invisible Footprints of Jesus series, Volume 1. This serial comprises of a series of attempts to discover the secret treasures hidden in the invisible footprints of Jesus that are not perceptible to the naked eyes. Here you can see and hear about the important events in the life of Jesus from a very different angle or dimension. These videos and audios will lead you into the secret and deeper chambers in the sacred heart of Jesus. What you see there will mesmerize you and pull you to live deeply forever. Part 1. The Great Mystery of His Footprints. When a man walks on the seashore, he leaves his footprints. But Jesus did not leave his footprints. In spite of it, the impact of Jesus is very deep even after 2000 years. What are the secret treasures hidden in the invisible footprints of Jesus? The first secret treasure is that Jesus lived like a Zen master. This part explains this vividly. This is the Top Secrets of Living Deeply channel. Welcome to the new series called The Invisible Footprints of Jesus. You will see here a number of episodes in the life of Jesus from a brand new angle. Enjoy this fantastic series with an open mind and become watchful in your life. It will take you into the inner chambers of Jesus' life to reveal the profound truths which will lead you to live a life of depth. Footprints means guides to follow. Footprints means the path to track. In Zen, the inner journey is represented as tracking the footprints of the ox in the form of 10 ox herding pictures. So also we are going to trace the invisible footprints of Jesus on the seashore of timeless ocean with the never-ending waves. The ox refers to the deepest part of the human being in Zen culture. The same thing is denoted as cow in the Indian culture and the lamb in the Jewish and Christian cultures. Hence, this series is a soul-searching, deepest core-searching journey in the vast, infinite mystery which knows no beginning and no ending. When a man walks on the seashore, he leaves behind his footprints on the seashore of life. But when the enlightened person walks, he leaves no footprints on the eternal seashore of life. Jesus, the highest enlightened and the deepest realized person, left no trails of his footprints as he walked on this earth. He walked like a Zen man. He walked like the bird flying in the air, leaving no marks of its path. He walked like a fish swimming in the ocean, leaving no track of its journey. Jesus lived and loved so much the humanity unto death, but left no footprints to follow. This fact is aptly and vividly depicted in the title scene of this series, where Jesus is walking on the water. Although his footprints are invisible, they are engraved in our hearts and are indelible. Jesus, the incredible, brightest comet that created the highest impact on the humanity and left without the trail of footprints of his journey from heaven to earth and earth to heaven. Ocean symbolizes life, and the waves connote the constant desires arising in our heart mind all the time. Like ocean, the very nature of life is unsteady and unstable. At any time, sufferings, trials, temptations, tribulations, and desires are ready to swallow and drown us to death. We have to struggle constantly to be alive and to afloat in the ocean of life. But Jesus shows the way to walk artlessly on the waters, stormy waters of suffering and sadness, desires and delusions, without getting drowned. He walked on the water and comes close to his disciples who are filled with the fear, awe, and wonder. The poignant point you have to note in this title scene is Jesus beckons Peter to walk on the water when he raised his desire to do so. He never taught him the art of walking on the water. There were no visible footprints for him to follow and learn it. The very act of Jesus walking on the water made an indelible mark in the heart of Peter, representing the whole humanity, and enabled him to walk on the water. These footprints and indelible marks in the deepest core of our being, I am trying to trace in this series of episodes called The Invisible Footprints of Jesus. Continue to watch this series to see the footprints of Jesus in your life and learn the art of living deeply and enable yourself to walk on the ocean of life filled with the waves of desires and delusion. Part 2. Christmas is a cosmic celebration. This part bestows a new perception and thinking to the very birth of Jesus. It instigates us to look at the old Christmas from a new angle. How will the invisible deeply affect the visible? How can the paradoxes melt and become one reality? heaven on earth, earth in the heaven. You can even go one step higher and declare from the rooftop that humanity is divinity. Divinity is humanity. We can simply enjoy hearing such revolutionary streams of thoughts. Christmas is a great festival for Christians. This is the old vision and old way of thinking. Christmas is a grand celebration of the whole cosmos. This is a new vision and a new way of thinking. If you look at the birth of Jesus deeply, you will see it as the immense extravaganza of the vast sprawling cosmos in the unfathomable depth of the infinite emptiness. Because in the great grand celebration of the Christmas, we see the earth and the heaven merging into one. We see this world and the other world marrying with each other. We sense the smell of the earth in the heaven. We see the heaven is sprouting from the earth. We see the wonder of the most powerful God who created the mighty heaven and the earth is born as a helpless child. You can't see such a miracle in any other religion. Christmas is the most beautiful and gorgeous celebration, not only in the whole of this world, but in the whole of universe. It shines like a bright comet amidst the numberless galaxies that are twinkling and swirling around in the vast universe. Yes, Christmas is a great, grand, cosmic celebration. We are living in a very tough time where the nations are shaken and all types of people are stricken with the fear of death because of the great pandemic created by the invisible coronavirus. We see the invisible world can shatter the whole edifice of the visible world. We realize the formless world can shake and shape the world of forms. The Christmas festival is a festival of formless taking form. The formless God who was existing in the very beginning in the depth of the infinite cosmos took the form in the world, in the flesh, in the womb of Mother Mary as a child. Thus, the great grand celebration of Christmas revealed the fact that formless can take form and consequently the forms can become formless. Thus, the form and the formless have become one. In fact, one cannot exist without the other. The matter and antimatter are entangled in a mystical bond. There is no high and low among the spirit and the matter. One is not superior to the other. Such tremendously meaningful truths are echoed in the corners of the cosmos. Christmas is such a lofty and precious cosmic celebration. The concepts like man lives on earth and God lives in heaven are all Old Testament way of thinking. The masks like man and God are all torn down at the grand cosmic Christmas celebration. The moment we say God has become man, man has become God. When we pour honey in the milk becomes sweeter. When we mix the saffron flour in the milk becomes reddish. So also the earth has become heaven the moment the heaven came down to earth. Instead of saying God lives amidst us, it is better to say He lived in the womb of Mother Mary and lives in the core of our human being and in the hearts of all people. In this extraordinary event of God becoming man, the exceptionally grand truths like the humanity is hidden in the very nature of divinity and divinity is shining in the core of the humanity are all started swirling in the cosmos in a grand gigantic march past. The two tidings of the Christmas celebration, namely God has become man dwelling among men and man can become God by realizing his own godliness in the center of his being, pour on us unerasable joy in the core of our being. Part 3. Beware of fasting. This part poses a very different picture of fasting and penance. It brings out the stark difference between fasting and hunger against the background of the fact that fasting can raise the amazing psychic powers. It sheds light not only on the unparalleled grandeur of spiritual fasting, but also points out the inevitable connection between spiritual fasting and temptations induced by evil spirits. On the whole, spiritual fasting and penance is a game of snakes and ladders. It is really interesting. Hear it. As far eating is concerned, the full stomach will give you sleep. The 3/4 stomach will give you good health. The half stomach will grow your intelligence, and quarter stomach will show you even God Himself. Fasting is a beautiful and blessed way to deepen your life and obtain enormous inner power. It will take you closer to God, who is ruling the depths of everything. That is why Jesus was fasting for 40 days before starting his spiritual ministry. In India, thousands of sages attained their eagle state and enlightenment only through fasting. Those who have guided the people towards a flourishing life, such as Buddhas, Siddhas, Muktas, Alvars, Nayanmars, Sufis and Hasidis realized the importance of a deep life that can be fasted only through fasting and frugal life. They preached and teach that golden path to the people for thousands of years. It is so nice to hear all these things, but something annoys me. If we say by fasting we can see God, live deeply, and boost our life tremendously, the one third of the world population, that is 250 crore people, are fasting due to poverty. Why didn't they see God? Why didn't they live deeply? Why didn't they enrich their life? These questions are really deep and need to be addressed carefully. To answer the complicated questions, we have to be clear about the subtle differences. Fasting is different from starving, as cuckoo is different from crow. Is due to utter poverty and deprivation of food. Is man-made. It's a cruel evil. We have to abolish it absolutely. Forced fasting will lead only to evil ways and open the floodgates of stealthy roads. True fast happens when you don't eat voluntarily, although you have the food or means to buy it. Also, fasting should not be done for the sake of fasting or to achieve something. The goal of fasting must be to tame the five senses to achieve the one-pointedness. Only for this reason, Jesus went to forest to fast. The sages in India went to the mountains. The Buddhas and Siddhas went to the forests. When you abstain from food only, you will not see God. Rather, you will see the food as God. Refraining from food is only the first step. It should lead you to domesticate your five senses. If it doesn't, you have to tame the five senses to withdraw from the world. Only then you will see God, live deeply, and flourish. When all your five senses really fast, plenty of temptations will come forth from you like the swarms of winged white ants in the rainy season. So you have to be awake ceaselessly and have the indomitable courage to win over all these temptations. This is beautifully depicted in the Bible by capturing the spiritual journey of Jesus. If you lose in the test of temptation, you will fall into the bottomless pit. If you win, fasting will bestow many miraculous powers, sharp and spontaneous intelligence that will pierce through any problem and reveal the reality and the truth as such. In a nutshell, fasting is a game of snakes and ladders. There are poisonous snakes that will swallow and drag you down to the bottom of life. Also, there are big and small ladders that will elevate you to reach God. If you play it carefully, you will surely lead a life of depth, reach the higher rungs of life, relate with God, and become one with Him, which is the ultimate aim of life.
Part 4. The Power of Empty Tomb. In this part, you will hear the paradoxical portrayal of the resurrection of Jesus. Who went first to the graveyard of Jesus? When did she go? To whom the risen Lord Jesus appeared. What is the mystery of the empty tomb? What does Zen say about the experiences of those who saw the empty tomb? What should we do to see the risen Lord Jesus? This part gives wonderful answers to all these waves of questions. Hear, go on hearing.
Since this is the top secrets of living deeply and you are watching the invisible footprints of Jesus, I thought of sharing a deeper point about the resurrection of Jesus. So I read thoroughly the resurrection accounts in 4 different Gospels. But I was highly disappointed because I found confusion and chaos, no coherence, lots of discrepancies, and even contradicting facts. For example, who has arrived at the tomb first? In John, Mary Magdalene alone. In Matthew, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. In Mark, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome. In Luke, Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James, Jonah and other women. Regarding the timings, it is still dark in John, whereas it is already dawn in Matthew and Mark. What did they see in the tomb? They saw the empty tomb where they laid the body of Jesus the previous evening. In Matthew and Mark, only one person appeared in and around the tomb. But in Luke and John, 2 persons appeared. In Matthew, the person looked like a young man, but in Mark, like an angel. In Luke, they were looking like 2 men, but in John, like 2 angels. To whom Jesus appeared first? In John, Jesus appeared first to Mary Magdalene, from whom he has driven out the 7 devils. But in Matthew, Mark and Luke, Jesus appeared first to all the women folk who accompanied Mary Magdalene. How many disciples came to see the tomb? In Matthew and Mark, no disciples came to see the tomb at all. Luke's Gospel brings Peter alone and he goes back home and not to the disciples. John's Gospel brings Peter and John the Beloved after the reporting of the women. In the midst of all these confusions and chaos, one thing is very clear. The tomb of Jesus was empty. Mary Magdalene and other women saw the empty tomb and was amazed. Peter saw the empty tomb and went back home scratching his head because the tomb is supposed to be filled with the decaying, bad-smelling dead body. The lightning shock and the bewilderment are due to the absence of the presence of all these things. After this emptying experience, all of them went home except Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene stays on near the empty tomb with an emptied mind and silenced heart. This has helped her to see the risen Lord Jesus, hugged him and even had a conversation with him. So, Easter is a celebration of emptiness, the empty tomb, empty mind. Bountiful life in the empty tomb is beyond the power of the mind to grasp. The mind was stripped of the normal expectation that a tomb being filled with a dead body. The world view and the logic of the mind goes blank, and the mind explodes into pieces and they fall into the bottomless pit. This is precisely the Kensho experience in the world of Zen. A flash of lightning crumbles down the whole rational edifice of dreams and ideas built all along the life. It shows the glimpse of the other world that cannot be explained by our logic and concepts. Our mind can think only stealthy ways, like the body of Jesus might have been stolen by somebody. Again, that is thrashed and crushed by the many apparitions of Jesus for so many times to so many persons. Do you want to experience and see the risen Lord? Empty your heart mind. Your heart mind is the living tomb. Is it empty? If not, empty it. To learn the art of emptying, watch the videos in the Boundless Way for Timeless Living channel.
Thanks for listening. Tune in to other audio albums. Share this link with the friends and groups.